Do you like apples?
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit.
How do you like them apples?
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. So the media lies to you. That is certainly not a headline. That is something that you know to be true, I know to be true, and sometimes it has really bad consequences. A couple of days ago, a dude drove his car into the U.S. Border Patrol station, the northern border with Canada, and everyone was reporting it that it was a terrorist attack, that it was a car filled with explosives, there were bombs there, and so we went with that report. That's what Fox News had reported and other people as well. Turns out that that wasn't true, and they had to walk that back, and we had to walk that back. So what can you do, right? Media moves really, really quickly. But here's the thing, is that you can't make the mistakes as reporters and then go after the people that made statements based on your mistakes. And that's what exactly happened in Canada with the man who is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre. A name that I have learned to pronounce because this man is incredibly based and incredibly good at his job. He is the leader of the Conservatives in Canada, and he was asked a trick question by the media saying, hey, our reports about this terrorist attack was wrong. Terrorist attack, right? Now, we know it to be like a freak, weird accident. Still, the car blew up, and it blew up at a border station. I mean, those things are real, right? Border station blew up, but it turns out to be like some maniac driving and a crazy accident, right? Listen to this lunatic, hysterical reporter try and pin the media's failures on the Conservative candidate. Is this incredible? Check this out.
Hi, Paula Loregio with the Canadian Press. Et si vous pouviez répondre dans les 2 langues officielles, je l'apprécierais beaucoup. Do you think it was responsible for you to call yesterday's explosion by the by the checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge terrorism when no U.S. or Canadian officials said that was or authorities said that was the case, and when the New York governor also said there was no evidence to suggest terrorism activity?
Actually, you're wrong. You're a CP? Okay, so CP, by the way, CP, just for everyone's knowledge, did have to make 3 corrections for falsehoods that they put into a single article. I think that might be unprecedented. I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question. Where you are wrong is that CTV reported that the government of Canada was presuming that the incident was terrorist. So, yeah, that's what I said in my remarks. You're right. It was a media report.
But it's citing media reports and not...
Which is what I said. In the House, I said there are media reports.
And you think that's a responsible thing to go on, to make that kind of a statement at the time without speaking?
What kind of statement?
Calling something terrorist.
I didn't. I said there were media reports.
But that's the distinction we're making? Okay.
No, there's no distinction. What I said, and I was right, was that there were media reports of a terror-related event. By your admission, there were media reports of a terror-related event. And that media report, according to CTV, unless you're questioning their integrity now, came from security officials in the Trudeau government. So do you think the CTV was irresponsible in putting out that tweet?
Look at her swallowing and like wincing, realizing that the question is being flipped back around on her. Oh, baby, ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun.
Do you think it was a responsible comment to make in the House of Commons?
Sorry, I'm asking, I have already answered that. Do you think CTV was irresponsible to put that tweet out?
That's none of my business. That's not for me to comment.
Well, you just did comment.
Look at the expression on the face. The sheer disgust. You've been beating her. They don't think through step 1. They don't think through the first move. They just get their hatchet ass question and go after conservative politicians. Oh, because you're a racist and evil, Is that bad because you're racist and evil? Huh? What? What? What are you talking about? You're the liar here. Here's what he said, actually.
Speaker, we've just heard media reports.
Media reports.
A terrorist attack.
So the dude was right.
At the Niagara crossing of the Canada-U.S. border. At least two people are dead. One.
So, okay, the death count is correct. And also, we just heard media reports. Okay, so where's the reports come from? This is the reason why the journalists in Canada, like most journalists in Canada are state-funded. So they're just state-funded apparatchiks, little yapping, feral animals that come after politicians who threaten their power. This is why they're terrified. Canada's Trudeau, far behind the polls, remains the Liberals' best chance. So Justin Trudeau is toast. He's finished. He's finished. Last month's Conservatives led Liberals 39 to 30% in an Ipsos poll. 60% of Canadians want Trudeau to step down to allow Liberal Party to pick new leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Trudeau is finished. He's done. Pierre is polling as Canada's pick for Prime Minister, first Conservative leader to do so since Stephen Harper. According to the latest polls, Pierre is polling at 32%, well ahead of his main rival, Justin Trudeau, who polled at 23%. Justin Trudeau just wishes that his father, Fidel Castro, could be in charge of counting the elections. It would be so easy for him to win then. What is the most important national issue of concern? Inflation. Look at this. Housing costs, jobs in the economy, healthcare, the environment. But if you were to listen to reporters who asked questions of the man running against Justin Trudeau, you would think that the most important thing in the country was the fact that he sounds like Donald Trump. Which this is the now famous exchange where he eats an apple and answers the questions in a manner that is a masterclass. A masterclass for all of us to learn how to flip a question directly back on these very low information, very low IQ, very low testosterone hatchet men masquerading as reporters. Watch this.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay. I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question is.
Okay, then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
This is the kind of stuff that gets the man 4 out of 10 in Canada, saying that he should be the prime minister. Pierre Poilievre is dominating in the polls. Pierre Poilievre is someone who will become the next Prime Minister of Canada, and it's looking like it's not even close right now. Look at these numbers. Look at this. Just an absolute dominant performance. And that's because he talks about things that actually matter to Canadians, the things that actually matter to everyone, which is the economy and the ability to provide a life for yourself and your family. The people from Trudeau's government, on the other hand, were busy locking people down, destroying their lives, destroying their economy, calling them Nazis while saluting an actual Nazi. Remember? Funny how that just frittered away, but they brought a Nazi in to applaud him, and they all stood up and applauded him. Canadian truckers were Nazis because they said honk honk, which was code for Heil Hitler. No, it's the sound a truck makes, you idiots. Oh, man. Yeah, it seems like Trudeau is the one who's the actual fascist, of course. He arrests people who stand against him politically, like Tamara Lynch. What does that remind you of? Boy, it really does remind me of back down here in the States, the lower 48. That's exactly what's happening here. It's almost like these people are panicked and they're clinging to power that they know they don't rightfully have, and they are scared shitless. Ontario government freezes Freedom Convoy funds. Oh, okay, so they'll freeze your bank account if you stand against them politically. Yeah. The unvaxxed truckers are treated worse than Nazis because the Nazis are the ones who get rounds of applause in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very excited to watch Justin Trudeau get kicked out. I like Canada. I like the people of Canada. We have a lot of viewers in Canada. While you still can, I'm not sure, under Justin Trudeau's new law, are you even allowed to view the channel anymore? Let me know in the comment section if you can. This is my favorite exchange between Pierre Poilievre and Trudeau in the House of Commons. Watch.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
First of all, the Prime Minister is imposing this carbon tax hike on all 10 provinces and 3 territories. 6 provinces will not get any rebate at all. And even in the remaining 4, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has shown that the majority of people pay more in taxes than they get back in rebates. It's all been a falsehood. Furthermore, they haven't hit a single solitary climate target since they took office. And finally, it's a little rich for this Prime Minister to call little old ladies in rural Newfoundland and Labrador polluters for heating their home in the winter when he makes them pay for him to jet around and go to Costa Rica in the middle of the summer. Why won't he halt the high carbon hypocrisy?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Opposition focuses on me, I will stay focused on Canadians. That's why we're moving forward with a price on pollution that puts more money in the pockets of average families, that doesn't help the wealthiest Canadians. And we know that the Conservative politicians on the other side of the aisle are always looking to give tax breaks and advantages to wealthy politicians. They still think trickle-down works. We're seeing across the Atlantic how that doesn't work. We have made investments in Canadians, supporting those most vulnerable and those in the middle class. We will continue to. Why are they continuing to block dental and rental supports for low-income Canadians?
L'honorable